Hey guys, what's up? This is Badfish. Welcome back to Gone Gaming. Welcome back to the city of San Pedro. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the city of San Pedro. It is my current ongoing realistic Cities Skylines series. If you end up enjoying this video and you want to see some more modded City Skyline stuff, you want to see some more detailed builds, definitely subscribe as well. But today, guys, we are giving a beach another tackle. So I apologize. I know I made a beach just a couple episodes ago. To be honest with you, I wasn't able to go to the beach much this summer, or at all this summer, because of COVID, so now I'm just living vicariously through my thousands of Sims. And you guys, I guess, as well. So, welcome back to another beach episode. I think this one's going to be much better than the last one. I really tried some new things with landscaping and watched a few videos on how to make better beaches, and I hope it shines through and makes something pretty cool for us today. So what you're seeing me do on screen right now is I'm just putting down some different elevation to make some little protective dunes for the houses so that way the sand's not blowing right into the houses. And then now I am going to start doing something that I actually picked up from Flux Trance. It was a tutorial he did for the Cities Skylines YouTube. And what it actually is for your landscaping is to do clusters of landscaping. So that's something I had never really thought of before, or never really, I guess, tried. So what I'm going to do in just a second here, once I'm done kind of painting through this dirt, is I'm going to make a little cluster of trees and some different shrubs and stuff, and then I'm going to use Move It to just Control C and copy and paste them all down in different ways and kind of flip them around. It makes it much faster as far as landscaping goes. If you notice, I usually cut most of my landscaping, but this goes so quick, I kept it in. And I think it look much more interesting. It allows you to put down in clusters more. And for me, it actually helps me not overpopulate the area with trees, which is something, if you've watched my videos, you know I can have an Achilles heel with. But again, we're getting a lot better with it. So now after doing that landscaping, I realized I wanted to wrap the beach around a little bit more. So I brought it over to this side just a bit, and I'm gonna kind of raise it up again and make some dunes and stuff that way, and then go ahead and landscape it up again, same way we did before. And I think it just makes a much more compelling beachfront. It makes a much more compelling way to get down to the beach. So with my last beach, that was supposed to be like a public beach that people go to when they're at like the hotels and stuff, or at the amusement park. This one is going to be the town beach, so the people who actually live here. It's a little bit nicer than the public beach, go figure, the town keeps the better one. And it's just a little bit more private and relaxed as far as like how many props I'm gonna put down, and I'm not putting like the big parking stuff down or anything like that. You know, so I'm going to put down a good amount of stuff because, I mean, probably people are sneaking over to the good beach. I know I would. If I was taking a vacation here, I wouldn't settle for the big public beach. I'd go over to the nice stuff and see what's up. You just got to find a place to park your car. That's the only issue. So now just going in, adding a couple rocks and stuff, and just kind of rounding out the detail of the actual landscaping. The houses in the background that you're seeing me put down, I really like that pack. I found it yesterday, actually. They're stilt houses, so they make a lot of sense for this area with the water coming in. So if there's any rushes of water or anything like that, you know, their houses can stay dry, or at least the majority of them can stay dry, as long as it's not, you know, catastrophic hurricane level water, which can happen if you have random disasters on, so watch out. But I don't, because I'd be very sad if it destroyed all my stuff. So you just saw me go through, add a couple fences just to add a little bit more detail to those paths. I thought that was just a nice little addition, just to keep it a little bit more separated from where the overgrowth is from the path. Make it easier on the people who are doing landscaping. And I am going to add in a couple lifeguard towers as well. I know it's the town beach, so maybe the town has, you know, they train some high schoolers to be lifeguards. I put down 4 at first, but then I was like, they're not going to train that many high schoolers to be lifeguards, so I only put down 2. And then I put down this volleyball asset, and the sand did not match, so we had to get rid of that, or else that would look rough. So the way I wanted to do my props on this one, I kind of just spread them out on the last beach, kind of carte blanche, put them down. This one, I'm trying to do it in little pockets near the actual entrances. I think obviously that makes a little bit more sense, and where it's the town beach, it's not going to be as overcrowded as the tourist beach because there's, presumably less people going. It depends on how big this town gets. And I put a couple grills in too because, again, this is the better beach and the town wants to make it nice. So they put a couple grills in for some food. Putting down some like paddle boats and stuff. I put down more like actual surfboards and boats and pontoon props in this one because it made more sense to me that the people who live here would, drag their boats down to the beach, especially if they lived right on the waterfront right here. And again, I just can't get over these stilt houses. I think they make such a compelling waterfront addition. So if you're making beaches or a waterfront, definitely check out that stilt house pack. That creator did a great job making that. And it is just stilt houses in the workshop, so you can definitely check that out. So just going through, adding in my umbrellas and stuff just to keep it shady. If you're pale like me, you need an umbrella at the beach, otherwise you're gonna come back like a lobster, so don't want that for my Sims today. So we're just putting down some umbrellas for them to stay safe from those UVs. And now we're gonna just build out the beachfront a little bit more. So again, I'm just putting down the stilt houses for this next row of houses once again. I thought I'd keep that motif going at least for another block where they're right up against the water still. And then I'm gonna revert back to my typical American eclectic suburbs that I've done throughout this series. So if you haven't seen that, I show a little snippet of it. If you have seen it, don't worry, I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me go through the entire town with it. We're just gonna do a nice little suburb just to kind of show what I do with that. And again, just adding in some different landscaping. So now I'm just kind of reverting back to my typical landscaping where I'm using the gum trees rather than the palm trees, just because it's not right up against the beach. So I wanted it to kind of shift into normal growth from those palm trees, so the palm trees stay very coastal in this area. But I think it all looks really nice once it's all put together. You guys can be the judge of it at the end here. But once we have this whole suburb built out, I think it does look pretty realistic and it makes a really compelling beachfront. And now we're just gonna go through, get rid of those trees real quick. So quick jump cut there for you so you don't need to watch that. And we are going to start building out a nice little main strip of shopping near the beach. So I love this wall-to-wall stuff. Actually, I am going to take a few of those out before the live play and put in a diner in there. So you'll see that in the live play. I go through it pretty prominently, so it's hard to miss. And I got this really cool like ballroom right here. It's very 1950s. I wanted to have like some leftover Americana architecture sparse throughout San Pedro, so I did want that to kind of be a theme throughout San Pedro, is having some of that old Americana architecture and things like that. So I really like this ballroom. It says that Buddy Holly's come into play, so it's definitely 1950s for sure. And I think it looks really nice. So now we're just going to add a couple of different details to the actual ballroom itself just to make it a little more lively. And of course, to the stretch of commercial as well, we're just going to start adding in some palm trees and stuff and planters just to make it a little bit more compelling and interesting to look at. And add some planters on the side here. And I did grab some more stuff for the sidewalks too. My sidewalks have been looking pretty bare, so I wanted to make them a little more interesting. So I did grab some like ads and stuff. You'll see me place those down a little bit. And you'll see me go through and add a little bit more stuff to this surf ballroom as well. So we had some palm trees here. We will add some like benches and trash cans and stuff. I just think, again, it makes it look more compelling, makes it look more realistic to me. One of the trash cans, I've put some trash just kind of scattered around it. Just trying to make it look like it's lived in, I guess. That's kind of the name of the game with the cities. So here we are going to put down a sign. I tried to mess around with planters too much, but I think I just ended up putting down the sign itself and it looked fine. You'll see that in the live play as well. Just put down another little surf shop there, another little piece of Americana for you. So the whole kind of like motif of this main strip of commercial, I just really wanted it to be wall to wall and simple. So I didn't want it to be too over the top. I do add some details to a couple of different things, but I didn't want to have like a ton of unique buildings. I just wanted to have those Americana buildings kind of peppered into the typical buildings I've been doing for kind of commercial runs like this. And here I am just going to add some stuff to a little cafe. just to make it look, again, a little more lived in, so they have a little bit of outdoor seating. And going through and adding these trees. I think if you can get like a planter set like this, where it's just this single planter and you can put some trees in it, it just makes your sidewalks more compelling in general. You know, in my downtown, I'm doing it with just gum trees. Here, I'm going to do it with palm trees. If you're doing it with palm trees, I try not to overdo it, although there are some cities in California that have like palm trees lining every block, so maybe that's just me being picky. But I think with the palm trees, I just try to keep it to like 1 or 2 blocks in general. And now I'm just adding in some kites because I had some kite assets. You'll see those later. They're pretty cool. They sway in the wind, which is really fun. And here are my ads. So I did get some street ads. Some of them are Star Trek ads, which is fun. I'm not a Trekkie, but I enjoy good sci-fi, so I popped those down. And I also popped down some Firefly ads because that is the best show that I've ever seen that didn't last long enough. So putting that down as a protest. And now just putting down some cracks and things like that, doing my decals just to kind of rough up the space, make it look a little more interesting, a little more realistic, you know, because there's never a clean sidewalk is a misnomer. That's not a real thing. There's no clean sidewalks. In my last couple of projects for this area, I wanted to add like a little apartment complex. So I got these oceanside apartments off the workshop. I believe, yeah, they're King Leno, so shout out to King Leno making all the great assets and just putting in a little apartment complex kind of right into here, making it a little more fenced in and gated. I think it looks really nice, especially once the parking lots start getting filled up. I don't put any decals in the parking lots during the time lapse. I did that off camera, so don't worry. There will be places for people to park. If you're just seeing empty lots of asphalt, that will change. And just popping in a couple more here just to make it a little bit bigger so they actually, you know, make sense why they took their time to spend money and build a big apartment complex out here. They're not just gonna put 1 or 2 apartments, they're gonna put a whole bunch down and connecting all the roads on through. And then we are just gonna put a fence down to, again, gate it off from the beach and stuff like that. But that is kind of my last main project here, so we are going to jump into a little bit more of landscaping and things like that. So just doing some surface painter, putting down some concrete. I wanted to have it pretty concreted out in this area, so it's all kind of one connected space. I think it helps. I didn't do my usual stuff with planters just because I feel like edging this in with planters would just be too much, so I didn't mind the jagged concrete. You know, maybe it's getting weathered and stuff like that. I do need to come back through here and put more decals down just to kind of rough it up a little bit, just because, again, when it's just that like pristine gray blob of concrete, it's not the best. It's not great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just start our little bit of landscaping that we got left here to do. So just bringing the gum trees and the weeds and stuff on through here just to, again, make it look a little more realistic. I tried not to have it, you know, be too overgrown. I think at one point I was looking at it, I was like, that's too much, so I go through and delete some. And just trying to keep it patchy with the trees, trying to mimic what, at least to my eye, looks like natural growth patterns. And again, just gating this in, so it is a gated community. They're fancy over there, that apartment complex. And then we're gonna end off this build just by putting down some general little bits of suburbs here. So I think they look really nice. This is the American Eclectic Pack. This is what I've been using for most of San Pedro, so definitely check them out if you're making an American style city. But that is just gonna about do it. So we're gonna do a little bit of landscaping, but I'm gonna let the music play out. This one's a jam, so enjoy the song. It just makes me feel happy. It makes me feel good. So that will play out for the rest of this, and I will catch you on the live play. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. Welcome to the beach. I think it looks really good, our little private beach over here, kind of completing the whole look at this little harbor town. I am going to go through and add some more suburbs, so I'll probably do that off camera. I'll just do general suburbs like I did at the end of that time lapse. So here is kind of everything that we built in the last few episodes. You can definitely find those linked in my channel. And then over here we have our new private little beach here. I really enjoyed landscaping on this one. I thought it looked really good. I think it plays well with the houses that we chose. So we have these stilt houses. So when high waters come, you know, they're still worried about it, but they're not too worried about it because they got some stilts. So they're looking good. And I think the way the palm trees and, you know, some of the different stuff I tried with landscaping worked out really well on this one. You know, we got some different props going. I like these little kites. I think they're fun. I like that they actually like move with the wind and everything. They're actually trees, which is kind of cool. So that's probably why they have that little animation, but those are nice. And yeah, I think everything just plays well together. We do have, of course, our beachfront apartment complex, because you got to have some capitalism in your beautiful town, of course. So someone said, I can make some money off this beach, and let's put some apartments there. Obviously, we have the hotels there too, so there's actually quite a bit of capitalism going on. So people making their money. But let's go around over into here too. So this is just our natural little suburbs over through here. And then this I really enjoy. So first of all, last time I had a building like this on an edge, someone was like, that big blank wall needs something on it. So I didn't grab a mural yet, but we did just throw on this big ad, so there's something there. And then this is our little main strip of commercial down through here. Added some props out throughout. These are actually really fun. So these are different ads. Ooh, whoa. Some of them are for Firefly, so this is actually just, my whole video series has been culminating up to this, where I just want them to bring back Firefly. I should probably move them so people just stop walking through them. That'd be good. Anyway, so we got some ads for Firefly. They do change up a little bit. And then we also have, actually those might have been the Star Trek ads, but we also have Star Trek ads too. Yeah, here's the Firefly ad, so that's great. And then that was the Star Trek ad at the beginning. I'm not a Trekkie, so that's why I didn't know, but I, you know, appreciate good sci-fi, and I saw those ads, so I was like, let's put them in. And then we have these cool little, like, leftover pieces of 1950s Americana. So we have, like, this old surf store. So this is 1960s Americana, excuse me. So this old surf store, which looks really nice. I liked this diner. I didn't put this in the time lapse. I did this off camera, but I found this diner, and I was like, that fits that motif really well. It's not wall to wall, but I just kind of squeezed things into it and made it look pretty nice and added a little seating area. So Chip's Diner is now part of this. I might add some more diners. And then the surf ballroom, where apparently Buddy Holly is playing tonight. I'm assuming this was for someone's like 1950s series or something, but I just thought it fit really well with what I was trying to do with this area. And who knows, maybe it's a other guy named Buddy Holly, or a Buddy Holly impersonator, who knows. And then we have a little swim club over here, well, a big swim club over here, but I was like, hey, this is a pretty wealthy town. They probably do some Olympic size swimming from time to time. Maybe up the high school around here, so there's a sense to have a gigantic aquatic center. Or maybe that's what this is known for. Maybe there's like some famous swimmer. Maybe Michael Phelps lives here and now he trains people to swim. Who knows? But that is the build, guys. I think it was a fun one. I think it ended up really good. I think this beach is much better than that beach over there. So I think I'm getting a little bit better with it. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, definitely leave a like as well. And if you want to see more modded Cities Skylines, more detailed builds and things like that, definitely check out my channel and consider subscribing. But we're going to go ahead and jump into some cinematics for you guys. I hope you enjoy it.